All right, well, it's day 18, and today we're packing up our bags and heading for Kyoto. But before we leave town, we got one more thing we got to do. And that's head over to our favorite Hawaiian place. Because I got to have some loco moco before I hit the road. Now, our cafe is a nice slice right out of Hawaii, and they've got Kona beer, loco moco, poke bowls, and even Kona coffee. And if you're traveling by car, well, you can grab yourself a cabana and spend the whole day here. They've even got lots of activities for you. You can rent a stand-up paddleboard and even a tent sauna, if you're into that. And they've also got jet ski rentals and all the fun toys next door too. So this place is always worth a visit if you're in the area. I definitely recommend it. Well, after that, one more quick dip in Lake Biwa. Can't resist, I'm sorry. And we're off to catch the train. I found myself yet again alone with all the family's luggage after they didn't want to climb up the stairs over here. So I'm hauling their bags up the stairs and they jump on the train and then the door's closed. And so I'm here with no internet. Well, it happened again. I got left behind on the train. We got separated. And what happened this time was a little bit more personal, and I'll admit I'm still grumpy about it. And so in summary, this train station that we went to does not have an elevator. That's pretty common. Small train stations don't have elevators. And so what happened was, when we arrived at the train station, the toddler was napping and in a stroller, and you don't want to wake him up by taking him out of the stroller. So as we debated what we were going to do, I made an executive decision, and I just picked up that baby in the stroller and carried him up the stairs. My wife, well, she grabbed one of the light suitcases and she came upstairs with me, and at the top, I left the baby with her. And at that moment, I realized I've got less than 2 minutes before the next train, which usually comes about once an hour, till it leaves. I've got 2 minutes left till that train leaves. And so I realized I better get a move on. So I go running down the stairs and my daughter's down there waiting, and I say, grab a suitcase, we gotta get going. And instead we debated about which suitcase she was gonna take, and so I eventually gave it and said, here, just take the lightest backpack. She took my backpack, and that's like 15 pounds. Wasn't doing me a whole lot of favors with that, but so I've got my 50-pound motorcycle gear bag, I've got my wife's 35-pound luggage bag, and I've got my 35-pound backpack on. And I'm huffing this stuff up the stairs. Somebody help me, please. And it's about 116 degrees out, mind you. It's really freaking hot. And I make it almost all the way up. This is 2 flights of stairs, so we're probably talking about 100 steps. I'm about 5 steps from the top. The train is there, the doors are open, and I see everybody getting on the train, all 5 people at the station, and my wife looks at me, she's 10 feet away, and I yell, somebody help me, because I'm out of breath. Just the look of desperation in my eyes. Somebody please help me. And instead she just gets on the train, and the doors closed and they left. So yeah, I was a little bit annoyed by that scenario. So anyways, just to make myself look like more of a dork, the train behind me, as I'm ranting on this video I filmed while on site there. It's all good. I'll just catch the next train. Be about a half hour behind them. Whatever. That train behind me right there, yeah, that actually leaves in about 5 minutes. And so that was my next train to get on. But to get on that train, I would have had to have gone downstairs and back upstairs again, which I wasn't mentally ready to do yet. Boy, did I feel dumb when that train pulled away. So that's 2 trains that I missed. And the real icing on the cake was that, remember that light backpack that my daughter insisted on taking? Well, that had my pocket Wi-Fi in it, which meant I have no internet, and I cannot call my family to say, hey, where are we going to meet up at again? And that left me, if you remember the last time this happened, back in Saitama, I always stick to the plan, right? And so the plan was we were going to go to Kyoto next. I'm just going to go to Kyoto next, because for all I know, they got off at every train station looking for me after that. That's on them. I wasn't doing that. So I stuck with the plan. And about an hour, I think I caught the 3rd train, or the 2nd train that left after them, right? So that's 3 trains. That was about an hour after they left. I got on my slow train. They were on a rapid express. I was on a regular local. So theirs took a half hour to get there. Mine took an hour to get there. So 2 hours later, I arrived in Kyoto. And I made a wager beforehand. I'll make an early prediction that when I get to Kyoto, they're supposed to be waiting for me at the tracks, that they'll have instead wandered off to get some food somewhere, and I'll be left wandering around the station with no way to contact them because I have no internet, which means no phone. That's my family for you. And wouldn't you know it, they were nowhere to be found in Kyoto. So I waited around for probably half an hour and still didn't see them. So eventually I gave in, and I switched to station Wi-Fi. And because there's free Wi-Fi in the stations if you're willing to give them all of your credentials. I usually don't like to do that, but I give in. I got to find out where they are. So I got the free Wi-Fi out and gave them a call. And sure enough, they've left the train station and they're down the street eating lunch somewhere. While I'm hauling everybody's luggage and sweating bullets and lost. I'm reflecting on my life choices while waiting. So we argue about where we're going to meet at again. And eventually they say, you know what, just forget it. We'll go to the next platform, which is the subway. And so I'm still grumpy. I head down the stairs to the platform. I actually see them in line, getting on an elevator. But I'm still grumpy, so I say, you know what, I'm not going to get in that elevator with them. They don't know I'm there yet. I'm just going to go down the escalator next to them, and I'll meet them at the bottom. And that time came and went, and I waited at the bottom for half an hour, and they never showed up, even though I was in the elevator behind them. So I made another bet with myself. I bet you I'm going to find them getting on the train as the doors are closing. And sure enough, as I say that to myself, I'm walking down the platform, and there they are. The train doors are closing, and I'm yelling, what are... Anyways, they almost left me behind at the station. I don't know where they were going after that, what the plan was, but I did catch them in time. 3 hours we were separated. And that's pretty much all of day 18 right there, was just us being separated on the trains and me being very grumpy. But I'm still mad about this, I'm not going to lie. I'm very mad about that. But whatever, the day went on. On to the next thing. Just a bit of a pro tip, if you happen to be on one of these older trains and have luggage, they kind of expect you to sit in these auxiliary seats, which are these little fold-out things right here. So that's what I'm on. It just folds out, or there's a better example. See, it just folds out and down, and then you're on a bench. That keeps you out of the way of coming and going out of the door. So, can't use it during rush hour though, that's what the sign says. Well, anyways, reunited with my family finally in Kyoto, we decided to stop off at this Blueberry Cafe. It had a very peculiar purple theme to it and reminded me of Willy Wonka, because purple makes you feel better. And this place had a lot of purple. And on a side note, this will ruffle some feathers, but Kyoto is not my favorite city. Mostly so because the transportation system here is just scrambled. You got to go from one train to the subway to a bus to another train. It can take you over an hour to get across town. It's really, really annoying. And almost 5 hours after we left Lake Biwa, we finally arrive at our station, Arashiyama. I've never been here, but a lot of people do come here. Oh, and if the vans are talking to you, don't worry, it's just politics. One of the best things about Kyoto, though, is that it's one of Japan's oldest cities. In fact, it's so old, if you wander the streets at night, you might see ghosts walking around. I think it's going to give somebody a seizure. Well, that's it for day 18. Day 19 is going to be next, and we're heading down the river on them wooden dory boats I mentioned. Because I love boats and rivers.
Choo-choo! Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo-choo! Chugga, 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 chugga.